violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Right now, police are looking for the thief whose legs were dangling out of a busted car window during a burglary spree targeting teachers' cars. Take a look at this video. It is incredible. Police say the suspect broke into 17 different cars.
Wow. So you got these super gremlins breaking into teachers' cars. And, you know, this might just be a super gremlin who attends the school that these teachers work at. But he's literally busting the windows, bending his body over the busted window and trying to steal inside of the car, when he could have literally just unlocked the door and went inside the car. Like, you bust a window, you open yourself up to getting cut by glass and all other types of obstacles that you could possibly face.
In the employee parking lot across from Franklin Elementary School over on Canal in the East End. So this happened Thursday afternoon, broad daylight, just before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Police hopes that somebody might recognize this guy either from his legs or the video.
Recognize him from his legs, bro? Seriously? It's gotten that bad where we can't even identify super gremlins. We gotta break down the length of their legs and the movement of their dangling legs when protruded outside, halfway outside of a car.
That you see of him, and maybe turn himself in to police if he doesn't do so already. A man is in the hospital this morning following a shooting in Highlands.
It may have started with a car crash. ABC 13's Patrina Adras working this.
Damn, she pretty tough. The light-skinned chick, she pretty tough.
Is working this story for us. She joins us live to explain what she knows. Hey, Trina.
Good morning, Erica. Deputies say that man drove here to this gas station after he was shot by a man he was following. Deputies tell us that this appears to have started as some type of road rage incident.
Wow. So that pretty much makes sense. You know, you get in a road rage incident, so you're a little upset. You follow the guy. The guy notices that you're following him. He understands the climate of 2022, that being super gremlins on demon time, and he shoots you behind for following him. Guys, we all know, if you watch this channel, that the roads are extremely dangerous. So if you are in a road rage incident, you just want to keep going, mind your business. Make sure that you get as far away from the person you got in the dispute with as possible. You definitely do not want to follow that person.
Resulted in an accident. Now, where that accident actually happened, we're still working to find that out, but neither of the cars stopped. One car followed the other to a home off Piping Rock. Deputies say that man that followed confronts the other man. Some kind of verbal argument breaks out, and at some point the man pulls out a gun and shoots the man that followed him. That injured man drove here, as I mentioned, to the gas station here off Main and Thorn. We're told that when he was here, an ambulance got here. He was driven a few blocks away, where he was flown to the hospital. Now, we're still trying to find out his condition.
And that guy is lucky that he even lasted that long, because a lot of times these super gremlins usually make sure that they finish the job. But crazy incident on the roads, man. This is in Houston. Y'all got to be careful.
At this time, and deputies, we know, did interview the shooter, but we're still trying to determine whether he was taken into custody. Deputies actually cleared the scene without letting us know that, so we're still working to find out that information. Reporting live in the far east side this morning, Patrina Adra, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Tom, it's truly a heartbreaking story. Now, the victim, who family has identified as Nicholas Groom, he was heading home to see his brothers. Older brother Colby just flew into town to visit family, specifically his younger brother Nicholas, who never made it home. Now, Harris County Sheriff's Office tell us that Kroom was found shot and killed in his vehicle right here along Beltway 8 frontage road.
Dang. Told you, man, these highways and byways are not safe.
But the actual shooting happened on the freeway, and the family is just asking for answers. It was Thursday night around 6:45 when Harris County deputies responded to a shooting on Sam Houston Parkway East. Family says 26-year-old Nicholas Kroom was about 10 minutes away from home. Deputies found him shot and killed inside his crashed 2011 Toyota Camry along the...
Dang, man. Dang. That's tough.
Service road of Beltway 8 near Wilson Road. Witnesses told investigators they saw Kroom and the driver of a tan or brown pickup truck involved in a road rage incident on Sam Houston Parkway moments before the shooting. Deputies say the suspected shooter took off immediately after the shooting and was spotted heading east along the frontage road. Kroom's parents say they were already searching for their son when he didn't return home. As they were searching, they got a call from Harris County Sheriff's Office and homicide detectives.
But I'll never forget when the homicide detectives were standing in my lawn and told me he was shot in the face. I'm at my core of holding on to my spiritual belief.
Woo! These super gremlins on Demon Time will make you lose all your religion. Lord have mercy. And I'm looking at this brother, man. He looked like a stand-up guy. Looked like a stand-up brother, man. So it's super unfortunate because, like I said, the worst of us perpetually take out the best of us. And this is a perfect example of this. You could tell he comes from a good home. Mama love him. Brothers love him. And unfortunately, he was on the roads at the wrong place at the wrong time and encountered a super gremlin on Demon Time.
And told me he was shot in the face. I'm at my core of holding on to my spiritual belief. And what I want for him is to be held accountable. Because if I recap what my child was feeling was terror. And that's what I'm struggling with.
I just want to look him in his eye, basically, and ask him why.
I feel you, Pops. I really do. But we know when dealing with a super gremlin, there doesn't need to be a reason why. He might have cut him off in traffic. He might have honked his horn at him because the super gremlin was driving recklessly. You never know. He might have rolled his window down, maybe threw something out the car, threw some water, spit out the car, whatever. Super gremlin got mad. Who knows? But what we do know is that whatever he did not warrant the taking of his life. And what we also know is that super gremlins don't need a reason to take life.
Again, the suspected shooter was seen driving a tan or brown pickup truck. That's the only description that we have right now. Anyone with any information is urged to call the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Reporting live, Roxy Bustamante, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
The search is on for the person who killed a man walking into a Chuck E. Cheese on Friday afternoon. Police say the shooting stemmed from a confrontation in the parking lot.
ABC 13 reporter Micah Hatfield is live in the parking lot where it all went down. And Micah, we understand you had a chance to talk to that man's wife. I can imagine how upset she must be.
Oh, she's devastated, and so are her girls. Good evening, Art and Melanie. Calogero Duenes' wife tells me that she and her girls had already gone inside of Chuck E. Cheese. He was outside parking in the car, and he was going to be bringing in the 6-year-old's birthday cake.
On his 6-year-old daughter's birthday, slain, killed brutally executed gangland style by a super gremlin on Demon Time.
When she saw him a few minutes later, he told his wife that he had been shot.
I saw him walking towards us. I told the lady that, my husband was on his way. I pointed at him. And the instant I turned around, he came running into the door and he kept saying, I got shot.
In that short period of time, Humboldt police say surveillance video shows Calogero Duenes walking towards Chuck E. Cheese with his daughter's birthday cake when the suspect drove the wrong way down a row of parking spots and almost hit the father of two.
So, it's no surprise that this super gremlin was in the wrong, almost hit a man, and Dueña probably thought that it would be appropriate to correct this guy and say, hey, you're going the wrong way, But a super gremlin, you can't tell him nothing. You can't tell him to leave. You can't tell him he's doing anything wrong. You can't criticize him at all. Otherwise, you're an agent of white supremacy or systematic oppression. So he pulls out his strap and gets to blamming on this man on the day of his 6-year-old daughter's birthday.
The two exchanged words, and then a witness told police they heard 3 gunshots.
My 6-year-old saw him lying on the ground.
24-year-old Dueñas died at the hospital a short time later.
My daughter didn't get to have her birthday. Now my kids don't have their dad. Really been really rough these last few days.
Humboldt police are still investigating. The suspect has not been caught. He was said to be driving a black Ford car.
A woman is asking for the public's help tonight after her husband was gunned down outside a Chuck E. Cheese in Humboldt. Police say he was carrying his daughter's birthday cake when he was shot. This was at the Chuck E. Cheese on FM 1960 near the East X Freeway. Anayeli Ruiz talked to the man's wife.
What was supposed to be a day of celebration quickly turned into tragedy for this family of 4.
I have not seen my husband since he was on the floor.
And look at the horror and terror that these super gremlins bring to these families, man. This is the second family who is directly affected by the actions of a super gremlin on Demon Time.
They didn't even allow me to go with him. I couldn't even spend the last moments with him.
Amber Uresti is still in disbelief that she's planning a funeral for her husband after he was shot and killed outside this Chuck E. Cheese in Humboldt.
We had just gotten off. I got my daughters off. I was going to get them stamped, and get them prepared so that when, their dad came in.
They were celebrating her oldest daughter's 6th birthday when her 24-year-old husband, Calogero Duenes, was shot.
He ran in and he was screaming, I got shot. And I ran out behind him. My daughters ran out behind me. They saw him laying on the floor.
The Humboldt Police Department says Duenes was in the parking lot carrying a birthday cake when a young man driving the wrong way down the parking lot lane had words with Duenes in the parking lot. They say the suspect pulled out a gun and shot Duenes.
And this is what I'm telling you guys. If you see a super gremlin doing something wrong, you see a super gremlin, he's on Demon Time, he's doing something wrong, just go about your business. It ain't worth it. He almost hit you. Okay, fine. Back up, get out the way, and get as far away from that super gremlin as possible. Don't try to correct them. Don't try to be one of these guys who say, hey, I'm going to see if I can change his mind, or, maybe I can reason with this guy. You can't reason with a super gremlin on Demon Time. You just can't. You just can't. They'll kill you every time.
They tell us the suspect fled in a Ford vehicle.
I don't understand how someone can do something to somebody like that when he was walking with a cake.
And I'll answer that for you, honey. It doesn't matter what he had with him. It doesn't matter if you think that it would be crazy for somebody to do something like that. These super gremlins are willing to die and kill about their respect. And he probably felt disrespected that Mr. Duenes told him that he was doing something wrong. And that's all that the Super Gremlin needed. That's all the reason that the Super Gremlin needed to unfortunately kill your husband.
Duenes. They tell us the suspect fled in a Ford vehicle.
I don't understand how someone can do something to somebody like that when he was walking with a cake.
Uresti says she hopes police can soon find the person responsible.
I just hope that, he's found quickly and for the safety of the community as well, because if he did this to my husband, I mean, imagine he could do this to anybody else.
Yep.
Anayeli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
Well, that's exactly right. The suspect, Antoine Badon, was actually picked up on separate charges earlier this month. He's had several run-ins with the law and a lengthy criminal history. No charge more serious.
Oh, really? Shocking. This guy already had charges. Let's run it back.
Well, that's exactly right. The suspect, Antoine Badon, was actually picked up on separate charges earlier this month. He's had several run-ins with the law and a lengthy criminal history. No charge more serious, though, than that murder charge where he is alleged to have killed that husband and father on New Year's Eve.
Guys, who's surprised that this Super Gremlin, who was refusing to take a mugshot, had multiple pending charges, was let out on bond? Who's surprised?
This is Antoine Badon. His eyes shut, his head appearing to be forcibly held, while his most recent mugshot was taken. The 27-year-old is charged with the murder of 24-year-old Calogero Duenes.
And guys, let's go back to that picture. If a black person in the community saw that picture, no context whatsoever, they would be like, why they abusing him? Why they use the illegal chokehold to do the mugshot? This remind me of the Sandra Bland mugshot. She wasn't even alive when they took the mugshot. Like, whew, man. Sometimes these Super Gremlins just slow, bruh. You got to be patient with them. Because even if you explain why they had to hold this man's head to take the mugshot, they still would argue you up and down the flow, calling this police brutality. But disregard what this guy did to this father and husband outside of a Chuck E. Cheese.
The 27-year-old is charged with the murder of 24-year-old Calogero Duenes. Duenes' wife, Amber Uresti, finding out about his arrest this morning.
There is a sense of relief. There is. I mean, I'm glad to know that he's out of the community right now, that he's behind bars. He's not going to hurt anybody else. But at the same time, it's not going to bring my husband back.
Duenes was shot on New Year's Eve. His family celebrating his 6-year-old daughter's birthday at a Chuck E. Cheese. Duenes carrying the birthday cake when police say he had some sort of verbal exchange with Badon.
It happened so fast. Like, I don't even understand. I just, I told her, my husband's coming in. I turned around. I pointed at him. And like that instant that I turned around, he came running in and like, he just said, I got shot.
Uresti telling us what hurts the most is her 3-year-old and 6-year-old will never get to know just the kind of man their father was.
He was like my everything. He was my protector. He took care of me for so many years. And it's like my heart hurts.
And as I mentioned earlier, Badon is facing 2 separate charges that he was picked up on one of those aggravated assault where he allegedly shot at 2 men, injuring one of them with that same weapon, according to police, that was used in Duenes' case, and another charge for assault on a family member. We're live in downtown Bill Barajas, KPRC 2 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.